Good morning, Mr. Klaus, and good morning, my dear friends, all colleagues, handball coaches.
Good
Adab,
morning, sir.
Namaste. So today is topic that is 18th class. So very important for our coaches, that is attack against offensive defense. Once again, I repeat, attack against offensive defense. So it is very useful for our coaches, for all handball lovers. So he will explain today in a such way that we will understand and we will hear with patience to Mr. Klaus. So now, not taking much time, I would like to invite Mr. Klaus Feldman to please start the class. Klaus, please.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. And we switch to the presentation mode. So, as you can see, this is today's topic, and this is the basic slide we have always. It's attack against offensive defense. We will continue in the next session, Monday, attack against defensive defense. But we start with this one, the attack against the offensive defense, because this is the one in our system of education comes first. Because as you know from the presentations about defense, we start with the man-to-man and open zone defense, and from that we come to defense systems second rank, which is 5-1 and 6-0, which are more defensive. So that's why, to make it logical, the players, first of all, in attack, have to learn to attack against the open defense and later on against the defensive defense. Now, it's not a big surprise. We have 3 chapters in this presentation. The first one is the structure, some repetition again. Second one, the preconditions. What are the characteristic elements of offensive defense and what are the consequences for the attack against that type of defense? And third chapter, examples for team tactics, how, according to the 3 different levels, individual, cooperation, and team tactics, we build up the structure against the offensive defense. Now, coming again to our structure in attack, the first chapter, the basic idea always is to score. This is what the team and the players in attack should do. The idea of handball is shoot the goal, throw the goal into opponent's goal, the ball into opponent's goal. Now, this is possible sometimes if the player is close enough to the opponent's goal in attack. Sometimes, depending on the defense, it's not possible because the players are too far away and the defense is too much open. So in that the defense have to go to a position, come to a position from which they can shoot. And this is what is said in these words here. When the defense has taken positions, has stopped the attackers' move over the center line, then we have this balanced situation. And in this moment, the attackers, they cannot score. They have to break this balance and they have to achieve a game advantage. So this game advantage is the situation that allows the player to finalize the attack with a high probability of a success. The best situation in that moment would be ball possessor against goalkeeper, so that defense cannot interfere anymore. So all the technical elements individually, one-on-one to the right, one-on-one to the left side, different types of feints depending on the basic attack movements, and the tactical means, the cooperation and the team play, is put it together under the idea to achieve this game advantage. Now, game advantage we have in two ways. You remember our pictures about that. So in this first picture, you can see the game advantage first dimension, player breaking through and finalizing the attack after solving the one-on-one situation with ball successfully. Then he is alone against the goalkeeper. He can shoot, and should be the best situation possible for that player with the ball. Interference can come from second defender, I'm sorry, which goes for help, and then pass must come to second attacker running into the free space. So we have the one-on-one pushing to the gap and the parallel movement of the second player in attack. So from that, we have the first type of cooperation. So with the ball, winning one-on-one situation can create the game advantage, first dimension, shooting to the goal, or can enforce the help and create the one player free or one player plus superiority in attack by drawing second defender. The video we had for that shows again a nice action from female handball, left back from Romania, Cristina Neagu. She's solving the one-on-one situation in that way. She's moving to the outside gap. And again, this is something very special because not so many players can use that move to the outside gap. So this is the basic situation after running in from the wing. We have a so-called isolated situation of backcourt and pivot against two defenders. Now, after this feint or the first move to the left side from Neagu, the defense expects a screen and making Neagu to use the inside move, but she's not doing that. She's surprising the defense inside, outside. She's moving, breaking through, solving the situation individually. Now, as you remember, there's a game advantage second dimension. This is the situation, again, player with the ball can use, if he's close enough to the goal, to have a free way for shooting, but still defender is between him and the goal. So now this situation is player in attack against defender and goalkeeper, ball possessor against defender and goalkeeper. So sometimes the defense can block, sometimes the defense can interfere, try to interfere, but on the other side, a nice shot around the defense will give the goalkeeper in that moment a disadvantage in observing the ball that's coming to the goal very late. Once again, our video to that. It's the video with the double crossing from the Russian team against Korea. First cross, second cross, and then you can see from the camera behind the goal, now shooting is around the defense, so not so easy to see for the goalkeeper. Once again, the explanation step by step, starting with the pivot in the central area between the two inside defenders from Korean defense. Now, very important basic movement from center back, moving to the gap between half right and inside right defender with a bounce. So with this bounce, the player creates space and can make a move and draw the defense to that side. Now, safety behind the ball possessor, third basic principle in attack, right back coming behind, and crossing is made on the right side in attack. In that moment, on the help side of the defense, you can see half defender out against left back. But from this open movement, again, space is given in the back of that defender. So this is a quite attractive area now for the right back player to move in. But with the 3 steps, she is allowed to hold the ball. She cannot attack to that area. She has to use, again, 1 bounce to extend the space she's moving. And then after the bounce, here it comes, she can attack to that area and, very important now, draw her defender with her. So in that moment, one of the 2 inside defenders is drawn far to the side, whereas the other is still in connection with the pivot. Now second crossing is coming, left back, safety behind the ball possessor, is taking the ball, and now big space is given in center area in which left back is now going in, and then we have a very good situation in the central area. It's almost a 2-on-1 situation we have here. Player in the back with high speed moving inside, jumping, and first option is shooting. Second option would be, if the defense would step out and try to interfere, then pivot is free. Now she makes the decision to shoot from the back, and that's okay. So jumping and finalizing the attack. So these were the 2 variations of the game advantage, but as you remember, we have this second variation of advantage. It's a so-called position advantage. And this is given in 3 variations. First, I mentioned position advantage. We have, by the moment, a player without ball, always position advantage is without ball, is running around his defender, taking the position closer to the goal in relation to his defender, and now he or she is free. But this position advantage is not as much worth as the game advantage, because only being free is not helpful. To turn this position advantage into something more positive, turn it to a game advantage, the pass must come. If the ball is given now to that free player, in that moment, position advantage will turn into game advantage. So this is something very important you should keep in mind, because in that moment, first precondition here is that space in the back of the defense is given, which means that the more open the defense, the easier to achieve that position advantage. Against the defense which is positioned very close to the 6-meter line, it's almost impossible to achieve that. It's still possible, yes, but much more difficult. Second aspect here is to turn position to game advantage depends on 2 players in defense making a mistake. So if the player in attack without ball is running around his defender and is free for a short moment, but this defender reacts very quick, runs back and covers the player in attack, then position advantage is not given anymore. On the other side, if the player is running around and is free here, but the defender against ball possessor is giving much pressure to him, intercepting the passes, blocking the pass to the player in the pivot position free, this player, he cannot pass. So if only one of these 2 players is defending in a nice way, position advantage will not turn into game advantage. Only if both are sleeping, we might say, then running free, achieving position advantage, and passing, turn it into game advantage, will be a successful type of cooperation. But as you can imagine, this is something which is much preferred against open defense, because very many players, they can see, oh, space in the back of the defense is given. I will run in. But in a normal game situation, it's not only the two players, it's a right back player, a right wing player, and maybe a left wing player too, that can see the open space here. So everyone tries to run in, and then they decrease the space. This is why in our basic principles of attack, we said second and very important basic principle is first way for the ball possessor and not for the players without ball running in and decreasing the space. So that's why this position advantage, it is possible to make a score with that if the player is free and the ball is coming. But in general, this should be only the second priority of the players in attack. The first should be player with ball going to the gap. Now, second type of this position advantage, we had it before, is the situation we have in the pivot area here. Now you can see a player in attack on the same line, so on the same height, related to the goal, but not closer to the goal, but he is closer to the ball. In that moment, passing is possible and breaking through. And the closer to the 6 meter, the more difficult for the defense, again, to take a position between opponent and goal. So in that moment, this taking or trying to get the position advantage, second dimension, is something very important for the pivot players. Very often we speak about this as a type of screening, but I don't think that this is a screen, because screen is always a type of cooperation in attack. And cooperation in attack must result in a reaction and type of cooperation from defense. So if the player in attack is only trying to take a position at his own defender, no reaction from other defenders is required. But if the player is taking a position, for instance, here, then it's a screen against the defender of the ball possessor. In that moment, he can move to the goal, and then reaction from the defense is needed. You know it from our defense cooperation presentation. Maybe they stay, maybe they switch. And from that, different following actions for the attackers are the result. But if a player is only taking a good position at his defender, no reaction from other defenders, no cooperation is needed. That's why we call this single action only trying to get the position advantage in second dimension. And the third one is to be seen here in this picture. This is the situation now, running free in the back or in the shadow of the defense. In that moment, it's a position advantage too if player in defense is observing the ball and not observing the opponent. So then a bounce pass or a lob is possible, but it's not only space in the depth which is needed, it's space in the width that is needed for this position advantage third dimension too. And this advantage or this situation with that lot of space in the depth and the width is given very often in fast break situations. So once again, our two videos to show how position advantage can be turned into game advantage. Once from the cooperation Swedish attackers against Egyptian defense. You can see it in the stop motion clearly after this. Now the situation starts with the execution of the free throw and left wing moving to the corner, open the space, open the area. By the time left back is in ball possession, now wing is coming up, try to make himself available for a pass. But in that moment, the player in defense tries to intercept. So he's blocking the pass. Very clever in that moment. The attacker stops that movement towards the ball and changes direction. It's almost like a running feint. And now he's moving in the back of the defender. Now he's taking the position advantage. And with that very nice bounce pass from the left back, the position advantage is turned into game advantage. Now he is in ball possession and can shoot. Okay. Second example we had from the team play conception of Romania, crossing center back with action again from the left back player who is running in. So as you can see, when the action starts, now we have this crossing, well-known cooperation between center back and pivot. And now everyone expects, first of all, pass from pivot to right back. They will do this, but everyone expects to send left back moving into the central area. But as you can see, the left back, she's opening the space again and causes a difficult situation for her player in defense, for her personal opponent, because now observing the ball here and observing the player is not possible. So the player in defense focuses on the ball, and this is perfect for the left back player now to see the open space in the back of the defense and use that open space for running in. And from that movement to the pivot area, now she's in the position that she is free. Now she has the position advantage, and with the pass from right back to the player in the pivot position, the game advantage is achieved. So again, we could see that in all three levels of our pyramid, the advantage can be achieved. It can be an individual action, it can be a small group cooperation, or it can be developed in a way of a team conception. Now, this is something you heard yesterday in our attack team play presentation. We have the three levels here, individual, cooperation, and team, and we decide between free play and fixed play. Free play is individual level and cooperation level. These are the two levels they play free. So it's free individual play and free play in cooperation, using the four different types: pushing, parallel, the crossing, the give and go, and the screen. If we speak about team conceptions, 4, 5, or all 6 players involved, then it's so-called fixed play. And in this fixed play, we have fixations of the players, how they move, and the players, how they pass, how the ball is passed over the different positions. And from this combination of passing and running, then the defense, out of that conceptions, is challenged, and then a situation appears in which a decision can be made, maybe finalized, maybe pass and forward the ball to the next position. That's why always, even in team conceptions, individual skills are very important, because from a certain point on, the players must make decisions, because they never know how the defense will react. So this is the game, attack against defense. One is doing something to the other side reacts, and then we have these different following actions, and the players need to be good in decision making. Okay, individual level again, we have the two variations. one-on-one without and one-on-one with ball movements. They have to be worked out in the basic position and in other positions. You know that already. We have the types of cooperation, the different types here, the 4 ones that have to be worked out in different following actions and in different positions. And here we come first time to the reaction of the defense. Different following actions, they depend on what type of defense cooperation is used against the crossing, against the screening, and so on. So this is the moment when it starts to get a little bit more tricky. And on the other side, we have the team play, which is the top level of our pyramid, the ball circulation, and the conceptions. These types of attack movements have to be worked out against open or offensive and defensive defense too. Now for a team, and especially for a coach, it would be very nice if we could use similar or almost same type of team conceptions against the open and the defensive defense. Only maybe with small variations, the players can adapt against that open or defensive defense. That would be very nice because in that moment it would save time in our training. Because developing maybe 2 or 3 different conceptions against the open and the close defense means double as much time needed. If you have some elements that can be used against the open and the defensive defense, it's a little bit more economical. Okay, but this depends on how the defense is working. And this is now the second chapter. Let's see the preconditions of the defense. What is special, what is critical for an open defense. And there are some points we have to take care for. So first of all, an open defense is always a defense that covers the space in the depth in front of the goal. So they are open, maybe open from their general positioning, or maybe open by stepping out and going back on the ball side open, on the help side going back. So that means that there are gaps between those defenders in that open positioning or in that running up and down. So sometimes the gaps are present for a longer time. Sometimes the gaps appear from time to time depending on the movement of the players stepping out or moving back. But in general, we can say that the gaps between the defenders are much bigger compared to a defensive defense for sure. So from this, we can see that on the other side, the open defense is giving much more space for wing and pivot players. So for instance, if you see a 3-2-1 defense with only 3 players take their basic position between 6 and 9 meters, then much more space is given in the wing areas compared to a 6-0 defense, because all those players stand beside each other basically between 6 and 9 meters. And for the pivot, it's the same. So if the defense is constantly open, a lot of space is given there. If the defense is moving up and down like in a 3-2-1, still there is place offered to the pivot, but this is closed sometimes. But this is much better than a 6-0 defense standing at the goal area line. So we can integrate these positions, wings and pivot, much more easier compared to attacking against a defensive defense. So open space is given inside the defense. This is something important. The defense covers the depth, so they are stepping out, they move out or they take their positions in an open way. So the space is given inside the defense. The the gaps in the width, but the space in the depth. This is what is the good opportunity for the players in attack to use this space inside the defense. And on the other side, we have some element which is not so nice for the attackers. Open defense should try to decrease the space of the ball. So ball circulation is disturbed. So if my team is playing open in defense and they only step out and going back without any interference, why should they do this? So stepping out means to do something, give some pressure to the attackers, try to avoid fast passing from one position to the other, because the faster the ball is circulated, the more the defense has to move. In that moment, stepping out without pressurizing the ball circulation is not useful. So if the players step out in defense, they must pressurize the ball, and they must try to disturb the ball circulation. So this is something attackers on the other side must be aware that if the defense is coming, they try to stop the ball, they try to slow down the ball, or to just neutralize the attackers in some situations. Now, from these preconditions, what are the tasks for the players in attack? First of all, try to create space. This is always the general idea in attack. The more space, the better it is. Small space is easy to defend. Big space is easy to attack. So in that moment, from the positioning of the players, they can create space. If the wings are coming up, if the backcourts are close together, then the movements and the ways for the players in defense are not so wide. So the more the space is opened, the more the defense has to move. That's perfect for the attack. So first is try to create space in the width and move the defense. Second task is don't allow the defense to reduce the speed of the ball circulation. Sometimes we see this in a little bit dirty way from an open defense. So this is some experience, especially after the rule change in 2016, when we had this warning signal for passive play. Because now the referees, they feel a little bit under pressure if the attack is going for a long time. And then they say, ooh, we must raise the hand now in certain situations. So very often you can see that if the defense is going out, stopping the attack by making a foul, which is a rule violation. This happens sometimes in the game really intentionally from the defense. They try to kill the attackers. And if they do this for the first time, then, okay, free throw must be executed, pivot player coming out, and once again circulating the ball, 1, 2, 3, 4 passes, and the next foul is coming. And again, attack is stopped. And the second free throw in the same attack is executed. And if that happens once again, after the third free throw, someone is getting nervous on the court. Maybe players are getting nervous because they think, oh, they stopped us now 2 or 3 times. We must finalize the attack. And maybe they use a situation for shooting on the goal, which is not very good. Or, and this is the part of the referees now, the referees are getting nervous because they think, oh, we had first free throw, not successful attack. Second free throw, not successful attack. Third free throw, and still they are in attack. And they think that this is a long attack because of the 3 free throws that had been executed. And then they raise the hand. From my point of view, this is not correct. because these attackers might have been active, but they were stopped in a way from the defense which is not according to the idea of our game. They were stopped by rule variations. So the defense was active, but active in a negative way. And from my point of view, this is not the mistake of the attackers. This is something the defense does to destroy the game. But in that moment, sometimes the referees really feel under pressure and they raise the hand for the warning signal for the players in attack. Please now try to score because you have now maximum 6 passes to finalize the attack. And some players in defense and some coaches, they know this. So they advise the players to stop the attack, to cut the attack as often as possible and to kill the game. So this is not a very nice attitude and not a very nice type of game in that moment. But on the other side, this is why we said, don't allow the defense to kill the ball and to cut the ball circulation. Speed up the passing and give the ball away before the foul is coming and before the referee can whistle, pass the ball. This is something, even under pressure, the players must be able to pass the ball to the next player so that they cannot control the speed of the ball. Very important for attacker side. And point number 3, task of the attack against the offensive defense. If gaps are open, please try to use them quick, because there's not so much time, especially when the defense is moving up and down. Then in a certain moment a gap appears, but in the next moment from the movement of the defense, maybe this gap is closed again. So that's why good decision making is required from attackers, and these decisions must be made very fast. You don't have long time to read the situation, to observe, and the defense will always be in the same position and give the same picture to you. No, the defense is active and it's moving in and out, and then you have to anticipate, if this player is coming, what can I do? Is the gap on that side? Is the gap on that side? Where to feint and where to move? Finally, then you can use it by a quick individual decision. So speed in our decision making, in the decision making of the players, is very much needed in that moment. Now, to make it more concrete, we speak about now 5 consequences for the players in attack against the open defense. First consequence is the wide positioning. Wing players to the corner, backcourt players close to the sideline. This is the type of positioning we need against that open defense. Wing players in the corner for sure on the help side, a side away from the ball. On the ball side, in the corner is not the best position because maybe a defender in the wing position can turn 90 degrees and cut the pass. So then the player must come up a little bit to the position where the 9-meter line is crossing the sideline. We call this line position for the wingers. So it's the corner position and the line position. So on the ball side, line position. On the help side, away from the ball, open the space, go to the corner. Backcourt players quite close to the sideline, must not go too close to the sideline. So 2 meters distance right and left is okay, so that there is again some space for an outside move. Second consequence is use the basic attack moves, and especially in the backcourt positions, left back, center back, right back. The players need those basic attack moves to the gaps, as you remember from our cooperation in attack presentation. And in general, every time player have these three options: moving straight, moving inside, outside. The more the players use variations of that, the more difficult for the defense to react on that. So if you imagine a left back player and the ball is coming from right back to center back and then to him, against that open defense like 3-1, defender must step out. So, but if in that moment, every time it's a straight move from left back in the same position, it's easy for the defense to anticipate and to read in which position the one-on-one situation will appear. But if the ball is circulated and sometimes the player is moving from left back more inside, sometimes more outside, this will challenge the defense, because then they have to observe and they have to react on the movement, on the first movement of the player in the backcourt position. So the more variations in those basic attack movements, especially to the outside and to the inside gap, the better it is for the attackers against that open defense. Third consequence is the cooperation with the wing, left wing, and right wing. This is something very basic, because sometimes in modern handball, we think that players, teams, and even coaches have forgotten this type of cooperation. So very often we see against close defense, the ball only circulated from left back, center back, right back, and to the other side back again. Wings are not integrated into our positional attack build-up phase. Against open defense, this is a must. Wings on the left and on the right side should be integrated. They should receive the ball, and as you remember from our presentation of the individual skills in the position, the basic task for the wing player now in this moment is attack to the gap between first and second defender, between wing and half defender. Make a move outside, feint, and then inside you go. And this can be very, very helpful for the team, because if this is a successful move, we can score. If this is answered from the defense side with the help is coming from the center positions. Half a defender will come, or maybe center defender will come and go for help. So the more active the wings are, the more the defense is drawn to one or to the other side, and then with that one-on-one movement from an active attacker in the wing position, space is created in the center, because the central defenders are drawn to help against the wing attackers. So that's why I love very much the cooperation with the left and the right wing as a basic element against open defense. Consequence number 4 is cooperation with the pivot. Maybe give and go against very open defense, or maybe screen against the defense which is more focused in positions. So then you can see here, first consequence, first element, third consequence, cooperation in the width, back left wing, the right wing with the backcourt players, 2 positions beside each other. And fourth consequence, cooperation in the depth, backcourt and pivot. So then we have the 2 types of positioning and the 4 variations of cooperation in the small group in this consequence number 3 and 4. So it's the one-on-one pushing and parallel, or maybe the crossing in the width, and it's the give and go and the screening in the depth. So we have individual and free cooperation play, first and second level of our pyramid in this consequence number 3 and 4. And then consequence number 5, we have the last element, team play, change of attack system. Use a transition from one pivot to two pivot system. And this is the idea again of starting with the free play first and continue afterwards with the fixed play in attack. To show how this is worked out, I have some examples now in video. We start with the first video here. It's from girls 11 and 12 years old. You see the positioning of the open defense, and you see how the players in attack try to create a chance for scoring. So, and again, it's always the movement to the gaps, which is very important for the players. Each player must try to go to the gap. Now, finally, after execution of the free throw, wing is coming in and finalize here. So see it once again. So you see now center back player receiving the ball, moving to the gap between half defender and point defender. Third basic principle, safety behind the ball possessor. So next one, going to the next gap. Defense reacts, pass to the pivot is coming too late. Okay, now execution of free throw. Pass to the wing. Okay, this is not the perfect position for the wing. It should be more here. But as you can see, it's girls 11 and 12 years old. So they don't need so much space compared to adult players. So in that moment, this is okay for a wing position for this category of age. The more they grow, the more they develop, they must use this area much more. Now, moving inside, go to the gap, draw second defender, pass, okay, too late. But you can see they try, and from trying, they will learn. Now, again, this free throw execution, referee needs to give some correction, okay. And then you can see wing player in the right position, more or less in the corner. So in that moment, she's opening the space for an inside move. And this is what she does now, running in, receiving the ball, and then she scores. So once again, in the next attack, right back, try to break through. Okay, not possible. Free throw is given. And again, right wing, coming in, receiving the ball while moving, using the open space, which is to the center. So she is attacking again to the gap between first and second defender. This is the way we want the players in this category of age to work. No tactical system, free play, individual and cooperation. See the next here, individual move from left wing. So the ball is circulated to the wing position and now use the outside gap. Nice. And in the next moment, using the inside gap and continue playing. So very easy to see again. The cooperation here starts with the movement, player with ball, moving to the gap. Now it's not a parallel movement, it's safety behind the ball possessor, it's a crossing. Defense is reacting, but now nice pass is possible to the player who started the crossing. Very simple, very easy. And once again, to the gap. So this is the way I think that we should build up the play of the game in attack, individual actions, small group actions, starting always with the movement to the gap, and then free play in continuing. Again here, you can see wing coming in, right back going to the position behind, and finally they score. The same is now in a more cooperative style. We see it here. So defense is a little bit closer to the 6-meter area. It's still a 3-1, but in a very compact way. But you can see the players in the positions, first of all, using again the wing. Inside move, outside move, inside again, and finally basic movement in center back and successful. So again, it is free play. So the inside move from the left wing. Oh, I'm sorry. Once again, the inside move here and the counter move from the center back. Always in the positions they use the basic attack movements. Wing is coming now from the corner, so you can see this is the correct position now to receive the ball. And from that position, attack to the gap between first and second defender is nicely possible. Inside, counter move, outside, once again inside, and finally the next player is successful. So it's really free play. They decide what they do. And we have now not only cooperation in the width, now we have cooperation in the depth, which is the cooperation with the pivot. So it's the screen for the wing player to move inside. And in the second moment, it's the screen for the backcourt player to move again to the gap to first and second defender. Once again here, inside screen and outside screen. So this is the way of small group cooperation now with 3 players. It's the wing, the backcourt, and the pivot. And this is why I call this the triangle attack, with the 3 players in combination. And very important always here, especially against the open defense, because the open defense is strong in the center. Always the gap between first and second defender. This gap is very important. So players must be able to use that gap. Here we go in the free play. Okay, now if the players go for the conceptions in the team, they cooperate with the pivot too. And the basic idea here is, again, to open the central area. So team conceptions may be the one you saw with the Romanian team at the beginning of this presentation. It's the crossing of center back with the pivot. So this is one type of cooperation in which the pivot is stepping out. And as you saw in our video example, if the defense is open, then space in the back is given. Left back was running in. So using that movement of the pivot outside to open the central area. On the other hand, there is a way of how we can introduce the pivot in that way by a movement stepping out, give the ball to the pivot, and then move to the pivot area from center back position. So this is a type of transition play on one side, but again, it's under the general idea to open the central area because of that movement of the pivot stepping out. And as a variation, we can see similar action, pivot stepping out, pass is given, but now wing is running in, backward is moving to the wing, and backward from center possession is moving to the right side. So this is a so-called rotation on these positions here. I will show you video examples for this. Very nice from this Egyptian attack against Algeria. Now you can see, sorry, now you can see after ball circulation, pivot is coming up for a screen, opening the central area here. Now running in from the wing at the same moment, backward player moving to the free space in the wing, and center back taking the position, the open position here on the right side. So this is a conception in which all players are included except left wing. This one can sleep now. So it's a really team play in attack. So once again, you can see it. Backward and pivot, try to use the screen. Wing is coming in, and this enforces the defense to react in that moment on what the attackers are doing. So, but please be aware, this is fixed play now, and this depends on the other side on really good communication and perfect cooperation between the player, because it's a question of timing. So in that moment, if the wing player is sleeping and he might not find the correct timing for running in here, it's not possible to use that space. If the backcourt is sleeping and not moving outside, right back has no space where he can go to. So from all these different ways of running and passing, the success of that complex element depends. Okay, same here as a variation against that 3-2-1 defense from the white team. And you see, basic structure is almost similar. Now pivot again is coming up. Open the central area here. And on the other side, you can see it's not the wing running in now. It's the backcourt player running in to use that central area, which is open now. And he is free and finally can score. So always try to draw the attention of the defense on the ball side and from the side away from their observation. The movement without ball is coming and successful. Okay. The other type of cooperation we had was the running in from the center back player. We can see it here. Now, once again, wide positioning of the players in attack, circulating the ball, and now pivot is coming up. So this is the movement from here to that position, and center back passing to pivot, but immediately moving to the pivot position on the other side. Now again, see the basic movement of the player in right back position, inside, and afterwards he will go outside. So inside move now, and then bring the ball to the other side. And on that side, we have now a 2-on-2 situation, backcourt and center back as a pivot, whereas on the right side, we have now pivot and right back. This is a good positioning of the pivot here. You can see game advantage, second dimension against this defender now. pass might be possible. But left back, because of that defender, is not passing to him. He is giving the ball to the right back player. Right back player again moves to the open gap outside. Very important in that moment to open the space and to go to the position here. Now in that moment, pivot changes his position, and now he is in a position advantage, second rank against the center defender. Ooh, sorry. Against second defender. So once again, and now he can score. Very easy to see how this is working. So once again, center back running in. Now the court is divided, you might say, in two actions of the same constellation, 2-on-2 on both sides. And now at the end, pivot is really free. Defense cannot interrupt. Okay, now on the other side, in attack, you see the same. And again, it's the gap between first and second defender. As I told you before, this is the very important gap against the open defense. So see the pivot now stepping out, center back running in to the other side. And this causes a problem for the defense. Now they sink back, but the screen is already set it here for the outside move. So left back might go in that area a little bit earlier, but finally breaking through, no problem in that moment. So it's the very fluent move to the other side and easy scoring. So still for this is solving the 2-on-2 situation, pivot and backward cooperation is a very critical element the players need to know and need to work out in a good way. And some creativity is needed too. So see the variation here. It's now again, pivot coming up, center back running in. In that moment now, defense reacts in a different way. So you can see the defender against the right back player now in front of the pivot. So pivot is now in the better position. Now left back is making the inside move. And in that moment, it's obvious to be seen that defense is focusing on the backcourt. Now the pivot is free. So it's not the pass here, it's the pass directly to the pivot on the other side. So they shift the game to the other side and the pivot is free now. It's an illegal attack or illegal action from the defense. So see it once again and pass is given here. So in that way you can see how different types of cooperation are built up till finally team attack is coming as an element which is consisting still these small group elements too. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention and let's see what is in the chat. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. If in a defense team there are 3 or 4 short players and the offensive tall players, then how to defend in such situation? Sorry, this is question for defense and not for attack. Today, our topic was about attack. Some attacking techniques with double pivot attack system. You saw it already. This is the system of how the players move into second pivot position. Maxim, during a match, kindly let us know about some specific attack combinations during free throw execution. No, this is not the topic today. Okay. Physical and playing abilities are different between Germany. Kindly advise us to some specific training methods of player. Can you? Yes, there is a difference between European players and players, let's say, from South Asia. Yeah, for sure. Because in general, you know, players in Europe are a little bit more tall, a little bit more heavy. But this is the same for attacker and same for defender. So the difference is not given in one game, or only in that game when Germany is playing against India. If Germany is playing against Germany, tall players in attack and tall players in defense are playing against each other. If India is playing against India, very fast players are playing against each other, attackers and defenders. So they are in the same level. So there's no special training for players in India, which should be made because they don't attack against German players or the other way around. Principles remain the same, how you apply. Okay, that's true. Don't underestimate capability. That's true, but still, remember our picture of the pyramid. The better the basis, the higher you can build it up. Okay. If ball circulation is disturbed too much, so what to do? Go away from the defense, go back and enforce them to run more. But on the other side, teach your players in attack, even under pressure, try to release the ball as early as possible. If the defense is open, the players in attack should, in a basic type of ball circulation, not move inside the defense, because if they move, it makes it easier for the defense to stop them. First is take the position away from the defense and circulate the ball very quick. And then you can see how far they are coming out and what is the correct point of time to release the ball. Then come closer and try to continue this. Okay. What should the training method for an Indian player to play against European players? Yes. Use your individual strengths, your individual skills. European players in general are more tall, but they are not so fast. Players from other countries are more fast. This is still some problem for players, for instance, from European teams when they play against Korea, because they are so fast, so speedy, change of direction, so good from their side that it's really big problem for the European players to follow. So always focus on your strength. Okay, I don't see questions anymore. Mr. Mahinda, can you take over?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Klaus. It's very, very informative again. So our coaches learn a lot. We also thinking and listening very carefully. So definitely this will enhance our performance in our country and knowledge of our coaches. So thank you very much. We will meet you tomorrow with a new topic that will be more interesting as usual. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye. Have a good day. So, dear coaches.
Sorry, wait, one word.
Yes,
not
sir.
Tomorrow.
Oh, no, day after tomorrow. On Monday, sorry.
On Monday.
Yes, you remind.
Have a nice weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So, dear colleagues, जैसा कि आज का जो टॉपिक था वो बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग था. So, there are three type of defense. इसने बोला था, पहले भी पढ़ाया था हमें, offensive man to man, ना offensive defense, defensive defense and man to man defense. So आज इन्होंने ऑफेंसिव डिफेंस के अगेंस्ट अटैक कैसे करना है, अटैक के बारे में बताया। तो पहले इसने जो डिवाइड किया है टॉपिक को वो 3 पार्ट्स में किया है, स्ट्रक्चर, प्री कंडीशंस एंड एग्जांपल्स। तो जो हम वीडियो में देखते हैं, वीडियो एनालाइज, तो वो चलती हैं। मेन जो प्री कंडीशंस हैं इसके ऊपर हमने ज़्यादा जोर देना है और इसने भी ज़्यादा कंसंट्रेट किया है। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जो पिरामिड ये देता है उसमें इसने बोला भी है, अभी भी बोला है कि अगर आपका पिरामिड इंडिविजुअल से स्ट्रांग होगा, इफ यू विल वर्क इंडिविजुअली फॉर मेकिंग डिसीजन एंड यूजिंग डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ वे, टेक्निक्स, अल्टरनेटिव मूवमेंट्स, when you are 100% perfect in individual movements, then in cooperation you will be very good. So you can practice in a group of 2 players and 3 players. फिर इसने बोला है कि टीम में उससे ज्यादा बेनिफिट होगा, मिस्टेक्स कम होंगी, कोऑपरेशन ज्यादा होगा। ऐसे ही इसने डिफेंस में बोला था, पहले इंडिविजुअल अच्छा हो जाओ, फिर आप ग्रुप में अच्छे हो जाओ, फिर आप टीम में। बट डिफेंस की हम बात नहीं करेंगे। सो इसने फिर इसमें बोला है कि 1-1 सिचुएशन में आप बहुत ही अच्छे होने चाहिए और ऑलवेज यू हैव टू फिल द गैप, आइदर यू आर विद द बॉल और यू आर विदाउट बॉल। आपको गैप में जाना ही है विदाउट एनी डिले। ये गैप जो है ये मिनटों के लिए नहीं होता, ये फ्रिक्शन ऑफ सेकंड के लिए होता है, जिसमें डिफेंस थोड़ी गलती करता है और उसका हमें फायदा लेना है। और इमीडिएटली बॉल पोजेसर विल ट्राई टू गो इनटू द गैप। अगर उसका प्लेयर बीट हो जाता है और उससे दूसरा प्लेयर जो हेल्प के लिए आता है, तो जो विदाउट बॉल प्लेयर है फिर वो गैप में रन करेगा, स्टैंडिंग हैंडबॉल नहीं होगी। हम थोड़ा सा इंडियन हैंडबॉल में हम देखते रहते हैं कि जो बॉल वाला है वही करेगा, मैंने क्या करना है, मुझे तो जाना है, इसने बॉल नहीं मिलनी। सो वी हैव टू प्रैक्टिस इन सच ए वे कि जहां हमें गैप मिले या तो बॉल वाला प्लेयर वहां जाए या विदाउट बॉल। सो वन ऑफ द प्लेयर अमंग द टीम विल गो इन ए गैप इन ए एडवांटेजेस पोजीशन। सो उसने बोला है कि हमेशा एडवांटेजेस पोजीशन में ही रहना है। अगर एडवांटेज पोजीशन में आप नहीं जाएंगे तो हमारा गोल नहीं होगा। उसने डायमेंशन 1, डायमेंशन 2 आज फिर किया, डायमेंशन 3 भी किया। डायमेंशन 1 में भी उसने डायग्राम को रिपीट किया कि 4-3 पोजीशन पे अगर 4 नंबर प्लेयर जो है लेफ्ट बैक अच्छा है 1-in-1 सिचुएशन में, तो 3 का डिफेंडर जो है उसको हेल्प करने जाएगा, तो 3 का डिफेंडर जो है वो सेंटर 6 मीटर पे दौड़ के जाएगा और बॉल मिल जाएगी और गोल कर देगा। दूसरी डायमेंशन 2 में उसने डायग्राम दिखाई कि वो जो डिफेंसिव प्लेयर है वो 6 मीटर पे है, 7 मीटर पे है और 3 का डिफेंडर उधर हेल्प नहीं करने जा रहा, बिकॉज उसका जो अपना पर्सनल डिफेंडर है वो बीट नहीं हुआ, बिकॉज ही इज ऑलरेडी ऑन 7 मीटर। तो वो जंप शूट करता है, उसको मालूम है कि मेरा डिफेंडर पीछे है, मेरा एरिया फ्री है, अटैकिंग जोन फ्री है, तो वो जंप शूट करता है। तीसरी डायमेंशन में उसने देखा है कि उसका डिफेंडर भी वहां खड़ा है और उसका जो डिफेंडर है 4 का वो भी बीट नहीं हुआ है, मगर वो रॉन्ग विड्थ पे, वो साइड लाइन की तरफ उसके पीछे से जब वो बॉल को ऑब्जर्व करता है और अपोनेंट प्लेयर को थोड़ा ऑब्जर्व करता है तो पीछे से वो दौड़ जाता है। सो देयर आर 3 वे टू टीच हैंडबॉल टू आवर प्लेयर। एक वो हेल्प के लिए जब जाएगा तब आप सीधे जाएंगे, एक वो डायरेक्शन चेंज करेंगे। सो डायरेक्शन चेंज इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, उसने बोला हैंडबॉल में। फिर उसने हमें कुछ पॉइंट्स दिए कि जो डिफेंडर है, जो विंग डिफेंडर है, ये वाइडर पे चला जाएगा, मोर गैप इन दी सेंटर एरिया, और उसके साथ जो बैक प्लेयर हैं ये भी साइड लाइन पे चले जाएंगे और प्ले मेकर और पिवट प्लेयर की जो है वो पोजीशन रह जाएगी। अब उसमें आपने देखा लास्ट में भी उसने वीडियो दिखाया कि अगर पीपी एडवांटेजेस पोजीशन में है अपनी ही पोजीशन पे तो हम उसको बॉल देते रहेंगे। अगर वो बॉल नहीं पकड़ पाता देन ही कम्स आउट, रिसीव द बॉल फ्रॉम द बैक प्लेयर एंड पास द बॉल टू प्ले मेकर और टू राइट विंग, राइट बैक, देन अगेन ही गो टू द 6 मीटर टू द अदर साइड। So that time also he can get advantage. So while standing, the pivot player will not be a successful PP. So तीसरा उसने ये भी हमें बताया है कि जैसे वाइडर पोजीशन है तो जो प्लेयर हैं वो राइट पोजीशन पे होने चाहिए। अगर सभी क्लोज आ जाएंगे तो गैप नहीं होगा। इफ योर पोजीशन ऑफ द टीम प्लेयर्स आर एक्यूरेट, बिल्कुल सही है, डायरेक्शन सही है, डिसीजन मेकिंग कैपेसिटी है, राइट टेक्निक यूज हो रही है, राइट मूवमेंट्स पे आप चल रहे हैं, आपका जो फेंट रिक्वायर्ड है आपने वो मारा, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। जैसे अभी हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स डिस्कस कर रहे थे हम यूरोपियन प्लेयरों के साथ, मिडल ईस्ट और सब कॉन्टिनेंटल, ये तो डिफरेंस रहेगा ही रहेगा, पर ये डिफरेंस देख के अगर हम हैंडबॉल छोड़ देंगे तो अच्छी नहीं है। कल अगर किसी कंट्री, यूरोप की कंट्री का इन्विटेशन इंडिया में आ जाता है, जर्मन का आ जाता है, स्वीडन का आ जाता है कि हमने आपसे 4-5 मैच खेलने हैं, क्या हम उनको बोल देंगे कि नहीं यार हमने नहीं खेलने, हम वीक हैं? नो, वी हैव टू थिंक एंड वी हैव टू ट्रेन अवर प्लेयर अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट। उसने बोला है कि अगर सामने बड़ा प्लेयर है, मे बी अजाइल ना हो, तो यू हैव टू स्पेंड मोर टाइम इन दी ट्रेनिंग एंड ट्राई टू बीट, ट्राई टू चेंज डायरेक्शन, try to change the system, try to shift the attack from one place to another place. So अगर हम एक साइड से दूसरी साइड आप शिफ्ट नहीं करते तो भी हम फिर हार जाते हैं, तो हमारे प्लेयरों की जो डिसीजन मेकिंग कैपेसिटी है वो कम हो जाती है। ऐसा उसने बोला है कि अटैकर शुड क्रिएट गैप। अटैकर जो है वो गैप कैसे क्रिएट करेगा, ये बहुत बहुत जरूरी बताया उसने कि अगर बाल पोजेसर जो है, जिसने बाल को पकड़ा हुआ है, अगर उसका कोई भी एक्शन नहीं है टू पेनिट्रेट इनसाइड, उसके बाद लेफ्ट राइट या राइट लेफ्ट या डबल फेंट या टर्न ऑफ, तो दूसरा डिफेंडर आपके तरफ अट्रैक्ट नहीं होगा, विच इज वेरी वेरी नेसेसरी इन हैंडबॉल टू अट्रैक्ट, टू मेक अ 1-2 सिचुएशन। If attacker 1, defender 2 are there, then there is a more chance of scoring the goal. In 1-1 situation, we can say 50-50, 50 attacker, 50 defender. वो भी रोक सकता है, आप भी कर सकते हो। So always try to go with some action in a speed to beat your personal opponent. Either you go alone or help comes, you pass the ball to your teammate. So it is very, very, then don't allow the defensive player टू रिड्यूस द स्पीड। वो क्या करेंगे, आपके सामने आएंगे, आपको एडवांस लेंगे, तो अगर आपने अपनी स्पीड कम कर दी तो उनके लिए इजी हो जाएगा। उनका एम है कि आपकी स्पीड को कम करें, आपकी फुट मूवमेंट को स्लो करें, आपकी डिस्ट्रक्शन को स्लो करें, आपकी रोटेशन को स्लो करें, विच वी नेवर अलाउ our player to do like this. So we have to rotate the ball in a same speed, we have to make our movements, foot movements, body movement in the same speed, and we will not change our system also if it is not required. उसने बोला है कि अगर नहीं होता तो फिर आप अपना अटैकिंग सिस्टम चेंज कर दो। अब उसने अटैकिंग सिस्टम क्या होता है कि वो 3-3 नहीं बोलते और 2-4 नहीं बोलते। जैसे कि हमने पहले भी आपको बताया था कि डिफेंस में 11 सिस्टम है और हमारी ऑफेंस में 2 ही सिस्टम है, जो सब कॉन्टिनेंटल में और हम इंडिया में कहते हैं कि 3-3-2-2। वो इसको एलेबोरेट करते हैं, इसको नाम देते हैं 3 लाइन प्लेयर, 3 बैकवर्ड प्लेयर, फिर 2 बैक प्लेयर, 4 लाइन प्लेयर, डबल पीपी सिस्टम, पिवट सिस्टम वो बोलते हैं, हम बोलते हैं 2-4। सो इसमें भी कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं होना चाहिए हमें। सो यू हैव टू कीप द सिस्टम, यू हैव टू चेंज द सिस्टम इन अटैक, यू हैव टू चेंज द पोजीशन। सो कई बार क्या होता है कि जैसे 4 and 7 या 7 and 4 कोई प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, पोजीशन चेंज करते हैं या आरओपी करते हैं, तो हमारे जो दूसरे 4 प्लेयर हैं वो देखते रहते हैं। अगर हम उसी टाइम विदाउट बॉल 2 and 3 सेंटर बैक एंड राइट बैक अगर विदाउट बॉल पोजीशन चेंज करें, पिवट वहां से जगह छोड़कर राइट विंग को चला जाए, राइट विंग अंदर आ जाए, तो क्या होगा कि जो दूसरे डिफेंसिव प्लेयर हैं इन 2 जो साइड वाले 4 and 7 इनको डिस्टर्ब नहीं करेंगे। अगर एडवांटेजेस पोजीशन में 4 प्लेयर या 7 प्लेयर विदाउट बॉल और विद बॉल अपने प्लेयर को बीट करके जाएगा। अगर 6 प्लेयर जो है वही स्टेशनरी है पोजीशन नंबर 6 पे या पोजीशन नंबर 9 पे, बैक ऑफ दी राइट लेफ्ट बैक प्लेयर, तो जो 4 and 7 आरओपी या पोजीशन चेंज कर रहे हैं तो पीपी का डिफेंडर उन्हें डिस्टर्ब करता है. So immediately when two players are doing something for the benefit of team to get advantageous position, then 3 number player playmaker जिसको हम बोलते हैं वो भी राइट साइड चला जाना चाहिए to create more gap in the center area, और पिवट को भी राइट साइड भाग जाना चाहिए. ऐसे ही अगर 2 and 5 कुछ करते हैं तो पीपी को अपने राइट साइड पे भाग जाना चाहिए, 4 नंबर को भी 7 की तरफ या साइड लाइन की तरफ. सो ऑलवेज आवर प्लेयर नाउ विल लर्न दैट कि जहां एक्शन हो रहा है वहां हम रॉन्ग डायरेक्शन होके वहां फिल गैप को फिल नहीं करना. हमने अपने टीममेट को हमेशा गैप देना है, सेंट्रल एरिया फ्री रखना है, इन फ्रंट ऑफ द गोल पोस्ट, माउथ ऑफ द गोल पोस्ट जिसको हम बोलते हैं, वो ऑक्यूपाई नहीं करना. क्या है कि बैक प्लेयर के लिए फिर वो ऑकवर्ड पोजीशन हो जाती है, वो कितना भी जोर लगा लें वहां गोल नहीं कर सकते. दूसरा उसने बोला है कि अगर आपके विंग प्लेयर अच्छे हैं तो आप बिल्कुल एक्सट्रीम कॉर्नर पे अपनी पोजीशन ले लीजिए व्हेन द अपोनेंट टीम इज प्लेइंग ऑफेंसिव डिफेंस. अगर वो विंग के डिफेंडर उनके साथ नहीं जाएंगे तो विंगर फ्री होंगे, एंड देयर विल बी ए वेरी गुड रिलेशन बिटवीन द राइट विंग एंड द लेफ्ट विंग. डायरेक्ट पास कैन बी गिवन और कैंपर ट्रिक कैन बी मेड. अगर वो दोनों ऑक्यूपाई करते हैं अपने अटैकर को, उनके साथ जाते हैं, देन देयर विल बी ए मोर गैप इन दी सेंटर एरिया फॉर बैक प्लेयर. तो उसमें से अगर पीपी भी बाहर निकल जाता है तो आई थिंक 6 मीटर पे हमें कम से कम भी 10 से 12 मीटर का गैप मिलेगा, जिसके लिए बैक प्लेयर जो इंडिविजुअली बहुत ही स्ट्रांग है 1-1 सिचुएशन में, लेफ्ट दोनों साइड उसके चलते हैं, उसके लिए इजियर कंडीशन हो जाएगी, जो हमारी टीम के लिए बहुत ही बेनिफिशियल होगी. और मैं चाहता हूं कि जो ये लेक्चर है ये इजी नहीं है, इसको हमने अंडरस्टैंड करना है. बातें वही हैं जो हमारे सीनियर कोचेज और जूनियर कोचेज डेली रूटीन में बच्चों को सिखाते हैं, वही ये सिखा रहा है. मगर इसने जो कंसंट्रेट किया है कि आप अगर गोल नहीं कर रहे तो आप एक साइड में बॉल को रोटेट करिए, एक्शन करिए, ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट द गैप, और आपको मालूम है कि गैप नहीं मिल रहा, इमीडिएटली यू शिफ्ट द अटैक, गो फॉर लॉन्ग पास. सपोज सेंटर बैक, राइट बैक एंड राइट विंग एंड पिवट कुछ कर रहे हैं, वो डिफेंसिव प्लेयर को राइट साइड ले जा रहे हैं चारों को, इमीडिएटली आप प्लेयर नंबर 2 और विंग प्लेयर सीधा 4 को बाल देगा, एंड 7 and 4 दे कैन मेक सम एक्शंस एंड कैन स्कोर ए गोल. सो हमारी जो स्लो मूवमेंट्स है हमें पता ही नहीं चलता कि हमने शिफ्ट कब करना है. हम रूटीन में चलते हैं कि ओए लॉन्ग पास नहीं करना, डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगा, इंटरसेप्ट हो जाएगा, कोच बोलेगा. नो, ड्यूरिंग ट्रेनिंग वी हैव टू टेक डिसीजंस, we have to solve the problems, situation comes, but we have to sort out ourselves. Coach will not having that time in a competition to guide you there. अगर आपने आज मैच ही हार गए तो शाम को उसकी मीटिंग में कोई फायदा नहीं है. अगर दैट इज द लास्ट मैच ऑफ द टूर्नामेंट, फिर उससे क्या फायदा होगा कि रात को कोच का मीटिंग होगा. सो बेटर है कि फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग ऑफ द टूर्नामेंट और ड्यूरिंग द टूर्नामेंट, ड्यूरिंग द ट्रेनिंग आल्सो, we have to make our individual player perfect. Then we have to teach group practice. We have to make more perfect in that, more mistake, no wrong passes. जो आपको हमने पहले भी बताया था कि इनिशियल पोजीशन जिसको हम बेसिक पोजीशन बोलते हैं, रनवे टेक्निक्स, करेक्ट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, ये 4 चीज जिस प्लेयर के पास हैं, जिस ग्रुप में है, जिस टीम में है, उस टीम की कभी मिस्टेक नहीं हो सकती. करेक्ट पॉइंट, आप भी करेक्ट टाइम में भागते हो, पास भी करेक्ट टाइम में आता है, देयर विल बी नो मिस्टेक, यू विल अचीव द गोल. जो आपको चाहिए वो आपको मिल जाएगा. सो इसी में बस इतना ही था कि उसने जो पहले स्ट्रक्चर बताया, फिर उसने प्री कंडीशन एग्जाम्पल, तो आपके पास भी वीडियो है, यूट्यूब में पड़ी है, मैचेस की वीडियो है, उसमें 2-2 मिनट की आप निकाल सकते हैं जहां गोल होता है, उसको फिर आप ऑब्जर्व कर सकते हैं कि ये गोल क्यों हुआ. उसमें डिफेंसिव मिस्टेक है तो डिफेंस के बारे में टीच करिए, अगर ऑफेंसिव मिस्टेक है तो ऑफेंस के बारे में मिस्टेक करिए. सो टोटल नंबर ऑफ मैचेस आर इन दी यूट्यूब, तो आप उसको बैठिए. अगर एक टीम के 40 गोल हैं, 30 गोल हैं, तो दूसरे के भी 30 है, तो 30 गोल कैसे हुए उनकी आप थोड़ी थोड़ी वीडियो कट करिए और उसमें आप बच्चों को 1-1 मिनट का दिखाइए. 60 मिनट की वीडियो ना तो प्लेयर देखता है ना कोच देखता है, कभी पानी पीने लग जाता है, कभी कुछ हो जाता है. सो the correct actions of the player. वो चाहे फेंट है, चाहे वो टर्न ऑफ है, 2 player cooperation है, 3 player cooperation है, full time है, but you make short combinations, clips of the of that action, and then show it to the players on a screen or on a laptop or on a mobile. So that will help the player to improve their mistakes and will try to win the matches in future. So thank you very much. Okay, now Mr. CP will add something. I request Mr. CP Singh to say something, please.
सर आवाज नहीं आ रही सर।
आ रही मैंने आ रही। बोलिए हाँ आ रही है।
नहीं आ रही सर अभी।
तेरा म्यूट खोलना है ना, हैंडबॉल तेरा म्यूट लग गया है ना। चलो हम बोल।
हेलो
हम बोल।
हेलो हाँ, तो मैं इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर दे रहा था कि हमारे प्लेयर्स की जो ट्रेनिंग मेथड क्या होना चाहिए सो दैट वी कैन कम्पीट अगेंस्ट द यूरोपियन प्लेयर्स। सिर्फ हमारा एक फिजिक का ही डिफरेंस है, अदरवाइज इतना कोई ज़्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं है। तो उसका टेक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग हमें ज़्यादा देनी पड़ेगी। अगर हम जापानीज और कोरियंस टीम के एग्जाम्पल लें तो उन्होंने मैक्सिमम जो कंसंट्रेट किया है, उन्होंने फास्ट किया है गेम को, दैट इन द सेंस ऑफ फास्ट ब्रेक्स। फास्ट ब्रेक इज ए बिग वेपन। यूजुअली जब टैक्टिकल हम उसमें बोलते हैं तो एक जिस टीम के पास शॉर्ट हाइटेड प्लेयर होते हैं वो फास्ट ब्रेक को एज ए टैक्टिकल मींस यूज करके उसको यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं। तो यहाँ पे जो फिजिक है, हाइट तो ट्रेन नहीं कर सकते हम, बट टेक्निकली, टैक्टिकली, फिजिकली एंड मेंटली हम उनको ट्रेन कर सकते हैं। तो ये ट्रेनिंग एस्पेक्ट उसको हम मेरा सिर्फ यही जवाब था उस चीज़ के लिए कि हमें अपने टैक्टिक्स के ऊपर एंड मोर ओवर आपकी जो फिजिकल कंडीशनिंग है, आजकल का जो रूल्स चेंज होते जा रहे हैं गेम के, और गेम के जब भी रूल चेंज होते हैं उसका हमारा तीन एस्पेक्ट के ऊपर इफेक्ट पड़ता है। डेवलपमेंटल ट्रेंड जिसको हम बोलते हैं, तो उसमें टेक्निक भी कहीं ना कहीं चेंज होती है, टैक्टिक्स के ऊपर इफेक्ट पड़ेगा, और फिजिकल रिक्वायरमेंट्स या मोटर एबिलिटीज रिक्वायरमेंट्स है प्लेयर्स की, उन पे भी इफेक्ट पड़ेगा। तो उसको हमने ये देखना कि हमारी टीम्स की क्या रिक्वायरमेंट्स है। दैट्स आई वांटेड टू ऐड ओनली। थैंक यू।
Thank you very much, Mr. CP Singh. Very well explained. So now I would like to request Mr. Harinder Singh, if you want to say something, please. Here.
Okay, gentlemen. I want to just say कि जब हम डिफेंस कराते हैं यहाँ पर, तो हमारा मेन मकसद डिफेंडर्स को गाइड करने का होता है, और यही बोला जाता है कि आपने जब भी ऑफेंसिव डिफेंस करना है, ऑफेंसिव डिफेंस का मतलब है कि आप 9 मीटर की रेखा या उससे आगे आकर आप डिफेंस करें और डिस्टर्ब करें। तो ये डिस्टर्बेंस जो होती है ये कैसी होती है, क्लास ने जो बताया कि ये आपकी बॉल सर्कुलेशन को रोकती है, उसको स्लो डाउन करती है, और उसके बाद आपकी जो रोटेशन है वो रिड्यूस्ड प्लेयर्स के बीच में हो जाती है कि सिर्फ सेंटर बैक, लेफ्ट बैक और जो राइट बैक है। तो ऐसे के अंदर हमारा डिफेंस का मकसद तो पूरा हो जाता है। अक्सर टीमें इसकी वजह से स्लो डाउन कर जाती हैं, पैसिवनेस की तरफ बढ़ जाती हैं। तो क्लॉस ने कुछ ऐसी चीजें बताई कि अब अटैकर्स जो है वो क्या करना चाहिए उन्होंने। तो जो मूवमेंट है उसको स्पीड अप करना, और वो मूवमेंट किस दिशा में, विड्थ में होगी कि डेप्थ में होगी। तो जो प्लेयर बैककोर्ट के ऊपर खेलते हैं, बैककोर्ट मींस लेफ्ट बैक, राइट बैक, सेंटर बैक, तो वो अपनी मूवमेंट को विड्थ के अंदर फास्ट करें, और जो अटैकर्स जैसे लेफ्ट विंग है, राइट विंग है, तो ये मूवमेंट, अपनी मूवमेंट को टुवर्ड्स गोल वहां डेप्थ में बढ़ाएं। जब भी कभी जाते हैं, गैप क्रिएट होता है, तो दे शुड मूव वेरी फास्ट, बहुत ही स्पीड के साथ मूव करते हैं। तो वो कॉन्सिक्वेंस है कि आपको जब भी आपकी पोजीशनिंग लेनी पड़े, आपको क्रिएट करनी है, तो वो आप कैसी पोजीशन लें। आप विंग प्लेयर हैं, ओपन अप करने के लिए आप वाइड करें, ठीक है, और बाहर की तरफ मींस, और हम उसको ओपन पोजीशनिंग बोलते हैं। जो मूव है आपकी सीधी अंदर की तरफ या बाहर की तरफ, ये जो है बैकवर्ड प्लेयर के लिए है, बट जो विंग प्लेयर्स हैं उनके लिए अंदर की तरफ टुवर्ड्स गोल साइड, टुवर्ड बॉल, टुवर्ड्स गैप, ये है। तो हमारे यहाँ कुछ ट्रेनिंग के टाइम में दिक्कत आती है कि हमारा जो कॉपरेशन है बैक के साथ विंग का, वहां कुछ चीजें लैक करती हैं जब भी ऐसे ऑफेंसिव डिफेंस होते हैं। तो अक्सर देखा गया है कि गेम के अंदर जो हमारे विंग प्लेयर हैं वो एक बार पोजीशन ले लेते हैं और उसको वो स्टैटिक पोजीशन मेंटेन करके रखते हैं, तो वहां पर हमारे बैक के खिलाड़ियों को दिक्कत जरूर आती है। तो कहने का मतलब है कि विंग की एक्टिविटी को आप बढ़ाइए, क्योंकि अक्सर आपको विदाउट बॉल ज्यादा रहना पड़ता है, तो विद बॉल के लिए आपको मूवमेंट करनी है। तो यहाँ पर आपकी जो इंडिविजुअल ट्रेनिंग है वो बहुत सशक्त होनी चाहिए, ताकि आपको सारे गुर आए, मूवमेंट्स आए, किस तरफ को आप मूव करते हैं और कहाँ तक जाते हैं। तो ये, और दूसरी बात थी पिवट की, वो मैं नहीं बोलूंगा क्योंकि मिस्टर महेंद्र ने बता दिया है कि आपकी वेरियस पोजीशंस जो थी पिवट की, वो आप जब भी पिवट्स को पोजीशन करते हैं तो किस प्लेयर के पास बॉल है, लेफ्ट बैक के पास है तो आपकी पोजीशनिंग कैसी होगी, सेंटर बैक के पास है तो पिवट की पोजीशन आप कहाँ चाहते हैं, सेंटर में चाहते हैं फिर, और राइट बैक के पास है तो पिवट की। तो ये डिफरेंट पोजीशंस आपको ध्यान में रखनी है जब आप ट्रेन करते हैं। और उसके बाद जो अटैक टीम है अगर वो प्रेशर में आती है तो वो सिस्टम को चेंज कर सकती है, डबल पिवट ला सकती है, सातवां प्लेयर भी ला सकती है, डबल पिवट के साथ सातवां प्लेयर भी है। तो अक्सर ऐसा देखा गया, बट आप रिस्क को भी काउंट करिए कि अगर कहीं बॉल का टर्नओवर होता है तो इमीडिएटली देयर इज अ क्विक थ्रो, वहां से सीधा गोल में बॉल जाती है और अक्सर गोल हो जाते हैं, बॉल बाहर भी चले जाती है। मैंने वर्ल्ड कप में देखा कि फ्रांस की टीम के गोलकीपर ने 2-3 बॉल डायरेक्टली गोल से बाहर मारी। तो ये भी रिस्क होता है, अवेलेबिलिटी होती है, चांसेस ले लेते हैं, तो ये सारी चीजें आपने ध्यान रखना। क्योंकि मैं इसलिए बोला क्योंकि डिफेंस में हम हर समय ये चीजें बोलते हैं, एडवांस डिफेंस और करवाते भी हैं, तो वहां पर हम देखते हैं अटैकर्स को बहुत दिक्कत आती है। तो आपने एज अटैकर्स इन सारी चीजों का ध्यान रखना। धन्यवाद आपका सुनने का। मिस्टर महेंद्र।
थैंक यू वेरी मच मिस्टर हरिंदर जी, बहुत वैल्यूएबल बातें आपने की। सो एक लास्ट लाइन है, जैसे आप लोग लेट हो रहे हैं, कि उसने जो फ्री प्ले और फिक्स प्ले है, फ्री प्ले में उसने बोला है कि इंडिविजुअल प्लेयर और कॉपरेशन ग्रुप में आप सिर्फ उसी प्लेयर की ड्यूटी होगी मोस्टली जो इन्वॉल्व हैं उसमें। पर फिक्स प्लेयर में, फिक्स प्ले जो है, इसको कॉम्बिनेशन बोला है उसने कि उसमें सभी प्लेयर जो हैं इस कॉम्बिनेशन में इन्वॉल्व होते हैं। मैंने पहले भी बोला था, डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली। देयर इज ए कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ 2 ग्रुप टैक्टिस और मे बी 3 ग्रुप टैक्टिस। ये एक ग्रुप टैक्टिस का कॉम्बिनेशन नहीं है। अगर एक ग्रुप भी कर रहा है तो दूसरे प्लेयर इनडायरेक्टली इसमें इन्वॉल्व हैं, वो उस रनवे को डिस्टर्ब नहीं करनी। जैसे हम लोग कहते हैं जी फ्रैंकफुट बन गया, 2 पास करता है, 4 रन करता है, 6 स्क्रीन लगाता है, 2 बॉल कर देता है और 8 पोजीशन पे गोल लग जाता है। अगर उसी सिचुएशन में 7 भी रन कर जाए, 5 भी अंदर रन कर जाए, तो वो गैप क्लोज हो जाएगा, फिल हो जाएगा। देयर इज ए लो चांस ऑफ थ्रो ऑन गोल, देयर इज ए मोर चांस ऑफ इंटरसेप्शन ऑफ द बॉल। सो फिक्स प्ले में आपने अपने सभी प्लेयरों को ड्यूटीज देनी है कि कौन किसके बाद दौड़ेगा, कौन किस तरफ दौड़ेगा, और विच टेक्निक ही विल यूज टू परफॉर्म ए पास, वो फिक्स होगी। तभी जाके उस कॉम्बिनेशन को हम एग्जीक्यूट कर सकते हैं और अचीव कर सकते हैं। सो थैंक यू वेरी वेरी मच, हैव ए गुड डे, सी यू ऑन मंडे एट 11:30. नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू end the meeting, leave the meeting. Thank you once again.